Hello everyone. This is your friend from Naruto Audio Fanfics, and we are back once again with a brand new fanfic. Which is what if the Nine Tails never attacked Konoha and Naruto was raised by Minato and Kushina, Naruto times Yugao Azuki times Hinata Hyuga times Ino Yamanaka times Tamari times Anko Midarashi, Part 2. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to hit the like button, thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing Naruto fanfics like this. So without wasting any more time, let's start today's fanfic. 2 weeks after the IWA failure, Naruto got the tree walking chakra exercise, and now he was studying about the water walking exercise that the Fuden book was telling about. Since Aoba was no longer teaching him, he needed some pointers about the water walking exercise. Even though the fact that the book said that once the tree walking exercise was done, the water walking wouldn't be harder, only with a different concept. The water walking exercise involved the control of the flow of chakra as well, but when walking on water, the ninja needed to control the flow of chakra according to the distance between the water surface and the ground. Next week, Naruto would start at the academy and he was nervous as hell. He wanted to become stronger, he wanted to learn more jutsus and be able to protect others as well as himself. Naruto knew that Neji would attend the academy as well. Even though Naruto made Yugo as his second rival, Neji was his lifetime rival. Right now, Naruto was doing taijutsu training with 4 Kage Bunshins and he was faring very good against them. Minato was looking his son handing himself against 4 Kage Bunshins and was actually doing very good. His taijutsu skills were very good for even a 10-year-old academy student. Minato was so caught in wanderings that he failed to see that his son just disappeared from view and actually was behind him. When Minato realized this, he looked at his back and was flabbergasted. He sensed the usage of Fuden chakra and now was sure that Aoba wasn't hallucinating. Minato was so proud of his son that he grabs his son and lifted him as he was laughing along with the Namikaze prodigy. Kushina was already up and was able to witness the bonding between father and son. Needless to say, her worries were for nothing after all. Naruto, you look more like your father every day. Now, you're going to the academy and you are to become stronger than you are now. I'll pray for your success, Naruto-kun, and I hope to see you accomplish great things as a shinobi, thought Kushina as she was smiling at his son. Naruto-kun, why don't you get upstairs and get ready for breakfast? Okay, said Kushina to her son. Sure thing, Ka-san, I did a lot of exercises today, I think I'll take a little shower and then visit Neji, how is that? Asked Naruto. Okay, Naruto-kun. Just don't spar too much with him, okay? Last time, both of you needed some wound treatment. He. It's just how we play together. Don't worry, Ka-san, I won't spar with him. Too much. Bye, said Naruto as he shunshined away in a little typhoon up to his room, leaving Minato laughing at his son's antics and Kushina fuming from seeing her husband laugh at her. Don't worry, Kushina-chan, he'll be just fine. The boy enjoys being a shinobi more than anything. It's no use trying to take that away from him now, besides he and Neji are entering the academy next week. Plus, our little son is growing, said Minato, still smiling while remembering about Naruto's wind shunshin. I know Minato-kun, I no longer wonder about him in that way, he knows how to have fun like a kid, he'll just continue to play like that his entire life, that's all, said Kushina, in an ironic manner. Yeah, you're right. Also, I came to know that our son is already earning some female attention, if you know what I mean. He. Way to go, my boy. Why are you looking at me like that, Kushina-chan? Explain yourself, Minato Namikaze. What do you mean by that? Demanded Kushina to the Yondaime, demonstrating to the blonde leader who was his worst enemy out of the shinobi world, much to Minato's dismay. He was in trouble and he knew it. Honestly, Minato wondered about putting Team 2 for taking care of Naruto because of Kurenai and Yugo. Such teenagers were very good looking for their ages and he knew that Naruto's personality would shake such girls a little bit. But what Aoba said left Minato wide-eyed for a moment, as he wondered how they would do when they see Naruto in the future. As the team's sensei said, Naruto already made a rival out of Yugo for practice and kind of asked Kurenai out to the library to buy a new book, but what one he didn't know. Well, Kushina-chan, the team responsible for Naruto's well-being involved 2 kunoichis that took a liking at our little boy. One that is a kenjutsu specialist asked our son to be her rival, and the other accompanied Naruto-kun to the library to buy a new book. No need to worry, Kushina-chan, said the Yondaime, putting his hands behind his head, smiling like a maniac, much to Kushina's sigh, since she couldn't resist that goofy smile of his. If you say so, Minato-kun. Well, me and Naruto-kun are heading to visit Neji-kun, and after that I think I will surprise him with some ninja equipment for the academy, right? He's starting next week, so it would be best to buy all the stuff he needs, like shuriken, kunais, ninja outfits, said Kushina, smiling from ear to ear, while thinking about her little son as one of Konoha's finest one day. Good idea, Kushina-chan. Well, I have to go to the office. Sarutobi and I are finishing the new academy plan, and we need to finish it until the first day of the academy, when the new academy is to be presented to the new students. With this, our shinobi will be more prepared and much stronger to deal with tough situations. Well, good day at work, Minato-kun. Thanks, have a nice day as well, Kushina-chan, and I love you, said Minato as he waved his wife goodbye. Love you too, Minato-kun. Just as Minato got out of the compound, Naruto got downstairs and set for breakfast, with Kushina keeping him company while he ate the equivalent to a little battalion in order to replace the energy lost, which, by the way, Kushina wondered if her son would ever be exhausted one day. Because of the gravity seal still on, Naruto got accustomed with the new weight and was moving normally. Actually, with the tree walking exercise, Naruto learned a great deal of chakra control as well, so he managed to get used to walking with extra weight by channeling chakra through his legs for better moving and without much restriction. After breakfast, Naruto and Kushina went outside and both looked at the sun radiating Konoha like never before. It was a very hot day, that even though Konoha is situated at the fire country, the temperature was higher than normal, attracting all the Konoha citizens to the lakes around town to refresh. At the Hyuga compound, when Naruto and Kushina arrived at the gate, the Hyuga guards bowed and allowed them entrance, since not only they were the Hokage's family, but the Namikaze family was really close to the Hyuga main family, as well as the fact that Naruto and Kushina have a bond with Hyuga Tenko and Neji. Once inside, the Namikaze waited patiently at the main garden until Hizashi and Neji appeared to greet them. Hizashi told Kushina that Tenko was at the living room having some tea, so Kushina went inside to chat with her friend and have a little talk to catch up. Meanwhile, Naruto and Neji were eyeing each other with the regular intent of a little spar, but because of the last time they fought, Hizashi prohibited them to fight for a little while, serving as a little punishment from Kushina and Tenko, much to the infants' dismay, since when they fought each other, they improved. Neji, since the last time, was training with his father in advanced instances of the Hyuga style of fighting and got a lot stronger as a result. Because of the fact that neither Naruto or Neji could fight, both of them decided to talk about the upcoming academy and the fact that Naruto overheard his father saying that they were to be a part of the new academy, but since Minato didn't talk in details, Naruto didn't have more to say about it. So Naruto, I believe that you're entering the academy, isn't it? Good, because I intend to enter as well, and I want to see just how you improved since the last time you and I fought. I'll have you know that I've been training with father in the advanced ways of the Juken, said Neji, earning a fire inside Naruto since he was desperate for a spar between them, but sighed, thinking that they could fight like crazy once at the academy. Yeah, Neji, I'm entering as well, and believe me, I've been training as well. Let's wait until the academy arrives, then we can test our strength against each other. Hee, I can't wait. Grinned Naruto, remembering the last time they fought. Hazaki, long since hearing the conversation with his son and the Hokage's son, could only laugh at such a rivalry that was built and hoped that these two would be the ones that guided the next ninja generation to success, if they don't get themselves killed when fighting at the academy, that is. Hazashi was looking at the blonde with the Byakugan, and he was amazed to see that the blonde's chakra coils were more improved than it's supposed to be for someone his age, but something he saw near the chest area just confirmed the fact that the Yondaime was indeed a madman, since there was place a gravity seal, which the Hyuga could only figure that since Naruto was so at ease by walking around that the infant was already used to using it. Yes, these two will be very strong indeed. So tell me, Naruto, why do you want to become a ninja? I already asked Ne that, since it's important to follow the family tradition, but it's more important to follow your instincts and know what you want to do in life, asked Hazashi, showing the infants that the shinobi world is nothing sort of a game to be played. Well, Hazashi-sama, I would like to be a ninja in order to protect others as well as myself. You see, ever since the first IWA attempt of kidnapping, I found that if I was strong enough, I wouldn't need to be protected anymore, and I believe helping others is what I intend to do once I become a shinobi. After all shinobi missions are requested by people who need help, isn't it? Said Naruto, with a hand behind his head and smiling. Very well. Good answer, Naruto. It's important to know what you want to be in life. It's important to plan ahead and remember, children, the shinobi world is no fun and games. Once the mission gets out of hand, it's up to the shinobi to use his skills in a way to run damage control if need be. There will be times when you guys have to kill in the name of the village, or at least defend yourselves from powerful ninjas out there. Naruto, since you are the Yondaime's son, watch out for Iwa shinobi. Once you're outside the village, they won't hesitate to capture you. Neji, in your case, Kumo is for you like Iwa is for Naruto, so when your time comes and you need to get out of the village on missions, be extra careful, okay? Take this advice to the heart. Hi, said the two infants in unison, earning a smile from the Hyuga elder. After some time talking, Kushina bid her friend goodbye since she wanted to surprise Naruto by buying him shinobi gear for the academy that would be starting in 1 week. Tenko smiled at her friend and bid her farewell. Once outside, Kushina called for Naruto so that they can go back to the Namikaze compound, but little did Naruto know that his mother had something in storage for him. At the Azuki residence, in the garden, a purple-haired kunoichi was practicing some kenjutsu katas while her father just watched in amazement as his daughter was faster and stronger by the minute. He smiled, remembering when Yugo came home 2 weeks ago telling them about her team's mission protecting Naruto as well as training alongside him. Back then, Yugo came rushing at him with a smile that could be seen all over Konoha as she was describing her newest rival, which by the way was the 6-year-old Hokage's son, who not only managed to gather her interest out of all her genin peers, but also seemed to fare pretty well in taijutsu kenjutsu spar with Yugo. Azuki Mamoto never would have thought that the Yondaime's son could be advanced like his daughter described his skills. He was flabbergasted upon hearing that Naruto had immense chakra reserves and was able to do the Kage Bunshin as well as the Shunshin, being the latter added with Fuden chakra according to his daughter's sensei Aoba. But a thought appeared in Mamoto's head and he remembered that his daughter had a crush on the current Hokage and he wished that her crush wouldn't end up being the Hokage's son, wishing that his daughter, if in fact wanted to be with Naruto, that at least they got to know each other better and develop their lives. Mamoto thought again and concluded that his daughter was never a fangirl to begin with, and he knew that she would take her rivalry with the Gaki seriously as well as their certain friendship. Yugo, for her part, was getting used to using the gravity seal that Naruto put on her a week ago. As she was delivering some heavy blows while cutting the air, she remembered the day that Naruto explained the use of gravity seal and that she requested if was possible that he could put on her. Flashback on. 1 week after the IWA attempt, Naruto was walking towards the library to see if something new had arrived. Suddenly, a purple-haired kunoichi appeared out of nowhere, screaming his name. Naruto-kun, wait up, screamed Yugo as she appeared in front of him. Yugo-san, how do you do? Where is the fire? Asked Naruto. I'm fine, Naruto-kun. Listen, I would like to ask you a question about your gravity seal. How does it work? Can I use it, or it's something Hokage-sama invented for you to use? Asked Yugo, remembering about their fight when he released his gravity seal and suffered a huge burst of speed. Well, the gravity seal works by increasing the gravity force on your body, naturally increasing your body weight. With it, moving tends to be difficult, since the gravity force is much stronger. The way you can move with the gravity seal is by pumping chakra through your legs as you move them. This exercise helps to expand your chakra reserves as well as your control over it. After the seal is rested on you, all you have to do to activate is channel chakra through it and use the word Kai, and it's the same to deactivate. You can put more than one seal on your body as you are getting used to. Apart from the fact that it's quite dangerous because the heavy movement tends to hurt your body muscles, everyone can use it. Why? Well, I was hoping if you could put one on me. It's not fair that you use this and your rival don't, said Yugo, earning some muttering from Naruto, saying that she is 8 years older than him and already a genin, and she is the one that uses the word fair in a sentence. But luckily to him, she didn't listen. Sure, but I see you understand the risks. Once I put one of the gravity seal on you, It will be hell to get used to. Are you okay with it? Said Naruto, earning a nod and a smile from her rival. Okay. So where do you want the gravity seal to go? Asked Naruto, blushing a little bit, since his was on his chest and he wouldn't dare to ask her if she wanted it on her chest, but somehow he knew that his rival would have some teasing because of it. Wherever you like it, Naruto-kun, said Yugo, earning a red tomato blush out of her rival, much to her amusement, seeing that she adored to tease Naruto. Teasing's apart, I want on my left arm. Then, extend your arm, Yugo-san, so I can put the gravity seal on, said Naruto as Yugo complied. At extending her arms, Naruto placed a paper tag with a drawing that indicated the gravity seal and made the necessary hand seals to make it go active on her, making her fall on the ground because of it. Now Yugo was speechless and hurt. Her face was flat out on the ground and she forced herself up with brute strength, but was having problems doing so only to look that Naruto was looking at her seriously. Yugo-san, in order to move with the gravity seal active, you have to use chakra, not brute strength. The gravity seal increases your body weight up to 20 pounds per seal. So if you think about it, you would weigh 20 pounds more with each seal. At hearing this, Yugo mumbling something about cursing the little Gaki and wondering how the hell could he take this and be normally. She focused on using chakra on her body as she was getting up a little easily, but since her chakra levels were lower than Naruto, she was almost panting because of it, having to deactivate the gravity seal. Quite a training, isn't it, Yugo-san? Laughed Naruto as he remembered himself slamming his face on the ground after his father introduced him to the seal. Flashback off. As a result of getting used to the gravity seal, her chakra levels improved greatly and she could almost scream in joy as she would be now learning ninjutsu with Aoba-sensei. Even though Yugo's chakra levels were high for a kunoichi, she couldn't rely on ninjutsu to fight in battle, resorting to the use of E-rank jutsus and her father's kenjutsu style. It seemed my father's advice at getting a rival did indeed help me a lot. I have to remember thanking Naruto-kun for the gravity seal. It was sure hell getting used to, but once you get accustomed, it pretty much feels that the seal is non-existent, thought Yugo as she was progressing through the katas. With Naruto and Kushina now outside the Hyuga compound, Naruto and Kushina were walking through the crowded streets of Konoha, apparently going nowhere. Well, for Naruto's part, he didn't know where they were going, but Kushina very well knew, and she was going to surprise Naruto by going to a ninja store that she and Minato were when they were chunin some time ago. Naruto was becoming suspicious of his mother's behavior since she was trying to hide a smile on her face for no apparent reason. Kushina was never good with deception skills, but even though Naruto was quite smart for his age, he lacked the experience to understand face expressions and compare them with emotions. However, since he didn't have anything to do back at home, other than catching up on the food and book, he dismissed the thought and just continued walking together with his mother, until they came to stop near the commercial center and in front of a 2-floor house. Showing Naruto to enter along with a smile on her face as she watched the now more suspicious than ever Naruto enter in what he would after describe as a shinobi paradise. As he entered the store, his mouth opened and his jaw hit the ground 1 second later. Shelves and shelves of ninja attire, kunais, shurikens, senbons, holsters, kodachis, katanas, wakizakas, bow staffs. Right now, Naruto cursed not having the Byakugan blood limit, since he couldn't look at all the ninja equipment at once, which resulted in Naruto turning his head left and right several times trying to grasp the wide display of ninja attire the same way a child would look at a toy store. Kushina, upon seeing Naruto's expression, smiled even more if possible, since the woman was already smiling when she entered the door. She was happy to see how much Naruto seemed to enjoy just being inside the store, as did his father once Kushina introduced him to the owner of the store. Surprise! Naruto-kun, we're here to buy some ninja equipments as well as some clothes to aid you in battle. Now, since kunais, shurikens and the holsters are pretty much the same, except for the holster's color, go ahead and pick some clothes that you would like to wear, but tell me what color would you like the holster and how many of them. Ka-san, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much for this. I wasn't expecting at all, said Naruto as he hugged his mother tight in appreciation. You're most welcome, Naruto-kun, but eventually you would need to come here to buy clothes and all. I just wanted to surprise you, and by seeing the looks on your face, I think I managed to do that, didn't I? Now, what's going to be? said Kushina smiling while seeing Naruto was still trying to show gratitude to her. Black holster. And I would like 2 of them. Thanks mom. I'll go to see some clothes now, said Naruto as he went to the shinobi wear section and begun to look around, already picturing a very cool outfit for him. White Kushina was ordering the usual, that being a set of kunai, a set of shuriken and the 2 black holsters. For Naruto's part, he was first choosing his paints. Naruto wasn't too fond of much details concerning clothes, he wanted it to plain and simple, a color that would not attract attention but also didn't scream experienced shinobi. As he was seeing the different pants models, his eyes caught some movement from a room just on the corner of the store and he witnessed a girl around his age, wearing Chinese outfit, just picking some boxes from the room. After that, he just returned to the outfit choosing and managed to come in contact with black cargo paints that were similar with the ones Anbu used on missions. After that, t-shirts and fishnet shirts. Naruto already knew he wanted to use fishnet sleeveless shirts, so he didn't even bother looking for it. After some time, after almost quitting to look for a shirt to wear, he spotted a shelf of graffiti t-shirts with ribbons at the end of the sleeves that were really nice. As Naruto mentally pictured his new look, he smiled knowing that he was able to choose his outfit. He was to buy some black cargo paints, fishnet sleeveless shirts and the graffiti t-shirts, 2 of each color, red, ocean blue and dark gray. Just as he dressed up his new attire, his mother came to look at what her son picked to wear and was surprised to see he picked some good-looking clothes. The whole package fitted him perfectly and the graffiti t-shirt went along with black paints. You managed to get some good outfit, Naruto-kun, very handsome as well, I might add. Mom, please. Sounded Naruto, since every time his mother did this, he blushed like crazy in embarrassment. What? You do? Now, take a look at these fingerless black gloves I found near the holsters, I think they match your outfit, put it on and let's see, said Kushina while looking at her son's reflection on the mirror. Now, with the gloves, Kushina was now once again worried about fangirls at the academy. Damn that Minato-kun, you just had to say that, didn't you? Gee, thanks mom, they are perfect, said Naruto as he closed his hand forming a fist to see how it would be to fight using the gloves, and to his amazement, the rubber wasn't so tight, giving some almost a free hand when to form seals and all. Great. Now let's go. Here, Tanaku-san, we would like 7 pairs of the black cargo paints, 4 sleeveless fishnet shirts and 6 of these graffiti t-shirts, 2 on each color, please, said Kushina as she motioned to buy the clothes from a dear friend of his that happened to be a retired Anbu. Okay, Kushina-san, so this is Naruto, it's a pleasure to meet you. I figure you're entering the academy this year, right? My daughter will start attending this year as well. Yes, she's quite anxious to get out of the shop for a while. She has a like for weapons like no one I ever met before, said Tanaku just for Naruto to remember the girl on the back, and he figured that. Pleasure is all mine, Tanaku-san, yes I will be attending the academy as well, said Naruto as he saw Kushina handing the right amount of money to cover everything. Right, Kushina-san, everything will be ready in 2 days, be sure to stop by then to pick them Naruto-kun, I'll be waiting you, said Tanaku as he demonstrated a genuine smile towards the boy who just returned to gesture equally. Okay, Tanaku-san, see you in 2 days, bye. With Team 2. At training ground number 2, Team 2 were beginning their training, since today wouldn't be any mission scheduled. They were doing some warm-up exercises almost eagerly in anticipation, since today they would be learning elemental chakra manipulation as well as some jutsus according to each ninja's elemental affinity. Since Genma knew his already, which by the way was fire, Aoba could help him a lot, since one of his affinities that Aoba possesses fire is earth, being the other one. But since Aoba was very diligent as a teacher, he along with other Junin senseis, gathered a little jutsu library for each affinity, so that the genins could learn throughout their careers. Actually, it would be also served for the new academy, since elemental ninjutsu was in fact a new subject at the new academy. Kurenai-san and Yugo-san, as you know these are elemental chakra papers. So go ahead, channel chakra through them and let's see in what element are each of you aligned with, said Aoba as he handed the chakra papers. He decided to speak once again. Remember, if the papers burns it's Kaden, if it crumble, Raiden, if the paper splits in half, Fuden, if it's wet, Sweden, and if it turns to dust, Doden. As Sensei Aoba instructed, Yugo and Kurenai channeled chakra through the papers. With that, Yugo's chakra paper soaked wet and Kurenai turned to ashes, meaning Sweden for Yugo and Kaden for Kurenai. Ah, I see you got Sweden, Yugo-san. Actually, it's perfect for your style of fighting, since you can fight in great speeds. The basics of Sweden ninjutsu is having the force of a strong current from the bottom and calm from the surface. As your fluidity in moving progresses, so will be your Sweden ninjutsu. But unfortunately, I don't have most knowledge on Sweden ninjutsus, making it difficult for me to teach you, but take this. This scroll will give you everything to know about Sweden jutsu and how to attain it. Now about the list of jutsus at the last page of the scroll. Do not try it as labeled as B-ranked jutsus only until you become Shunin, said Aoba as he tossed a big-sized scroll with practically all that is to know about Sweden jutsus. Now, Kurenai-san, since your element is fire, I believe a more direct approach from me will be sufficient for ninjutsu training, seeing the fact that you wanted to specialize in genjutsu usage. So, I would be teaching 4 Kaden jutsus that I believe that will serve you quite well, now to fully use elemental chakra in battle. Kurenai, for her part, was a little bit sad about hearing from Aoba that resorting only to genjutsu in battle isn't enough, but she dismissed the thought when he clarified saying that it wasn't a problem with genjutsu. Aoba explained that if a ninja resorts to one specific ability in battle, the enemy can overpower him easily, so in order to surprise the opponent, the ninja must have more than good ability, hence the fact why a Junin must master at least 2 chakra elements to pass the Junin test. Now, Yugo, since you have Sweden affinity, here is a scroll that explains everything you need to know about Sweden ninjutsu. Also, try to find someone who could explain them better or to answer any doubts you may have. I'm terribly sorry I won't be able to teach you about it, but I promise to help when I can, okay? It's okay, Aoba-sensei. My father has Sweden affinity as well, I'll ask him, said Yugo smiling to her sensei, making him relax a little bit, since he was truly depressed that he wasn't able to help one of his students. Since Aoba was more of a Kaden user and much less a Doden user, Sweden ninjutsu simply was the complete opposite of the ones he mastered. At the Namikaze compound, now back at home, Naruto left his shopping bags on the table, since it was time for lunch. Actually, Naruto was really hungry a while ago, but somehow the quest for having cool ninja stuff, said by himself, made him forget about the fact that his stomach was calling for some assistance, which was surprising for both Naruto and Kushina, since his stomach growled practically the entire time they were at the ninja store and Naruto didn't make a single complaint. After some lunch that he ate together with his mother, Naruto ran upstairs to learn some more about food and chakra. The reason why he was eager with excitement was simple. The next page on the book was an E-ranked ninjutsu called Fudenkei's no Jutsu, Wind Style. Wind Breeze Jutsu, and he was desperate to try his first Fuden ninjutsu, but little did Naruto know that he already did his first one, by subconsciously adding wind chakra when using the shunshin, which could be counted like a blur. Naruto entered his room, shut the door, picked the Fuden book and proceeded to his desk in less than a second. After the book recognized Naruto's affinity, which in fact is necessary since the book doesn't has a memory seal to know Naruto's chakra before check, he opened and proceeded to read where he stopped last time. As he was reading, he came to learn that D-ranked Fuden ninjutsu could be learnt by having mastered the tree walking exercise as opposed to C and higher techniques which required at least water walking exercise, which according to Naruto, he wanted to take it easy at keeping up non-stop on intellectual or spiritual exercises such as chakra control and using ninjutsu. Because of a little incident with Kage Bunshin while trying water walking, he suffered some extreme headache after dispelling the clones, so now he focused mainly on harnessing physical skills, like taijutsu and now target practice since he just acquired kunais and shurikens. As he progressed through the book, he reached his objective for the day, which was to read about D-ranked Fuden ninjutsu and how to use Fudenkei's no Jutsu. Reading intently, trying not to miss any information regarding the technique, he read the information twice. Fudenkei's no Jutsu, D-ranked. With the seals as showed below, the ninja throws a wind breeze, by focusing a little quantity of Fuden chakra through the ninja's lungs and then exhale it through your mouth. This is a weak version of the Fuden Daitapa no Jutsu, which even though has the same concept, is labeled as a C-ranked jutsu, because of further use of chakra. Figuring he had down the concept of the technique, he went outside for training. The day was a little chilly, which proved to make it hard for him to see if he was able to do it or not. Deciding to turn to the book once again to see if he missed anything, he came to a part which could really help him see if he managed to do it. In order to learn this technique, you have to use against an object who wouldn't move because of the air breeze like leaves, use instead a little piece of rock which by your wind breeze, could move it. Finding a rock as described on the book, he closed his eyes and started doing the meditation part in a way so that Fudan chakra starts running through his tenkatsus. After 10 minutes of it, he began to feel Fudan chakra travel inside his body like he was traveling through the air, certainly relaxing every part of his body in the process. Actually, this new meditation exercise of Naruto, which was described in the book, made his body relax in a way that Naruto could swear that he was lighter than normal. His body was so light that he thought that if he jumped he would just float back on the ground. Now waken up from his meditation and with Fudan chakra running through his body, Naruto remembered the hand signs as he progressed through them, molding his chakra for the technique. For his first try, he didn't even felt any breeze coming from his mouth, and only after a while did he realize that he not gathering enough chakra through his lungs, which showed him that even though the book stated that such technique could be learned from having tree walking level of chakra control, it wouldn't be impossible to do it, just difficult. As determined as he was in the fact that he had nothing else to do, he tried again and again. At the third try, he was able to feel the breeze through his throat. Now happy and even more determined, he did once again the hand seals for this time, making the rock move but only slightly. Now fuming with rage for not getting the rock to move further, he decided to have a different approach, pumping more chakra through his lungs and see what happened. After he did it, when he opened his mouth, actually of a little wind breeze, Naruto's was more like a gust of wind, throwing the little rock far away as well as yank a little tree from the ground that his mother had just planted a while ago. Seeing this, he was frightened to death. Somehow Kushina developed a passion for gardening and he began buying book after book about it, trying to learn how to plant and create a beautiful garden. Now remembering his mother's reaction when Minato accidentally stepped one of her plants, and Naruto was now terrified but also happy. Happy because somehow if the book was right, Naruto just made the Fudan Daitapa no Jutsu, wind style, great breakthrough jutsu. Since Naruto read a lot, his intellect was further developed and he now was using his thinking only to conclude that the more chakra needed for the technique, the less chakra control he needed for it, being that a theory to him, since he did his supposedly first Fudan ninjutsu and AC level no less. Nevertheless, Naruto was terrified, but he decided not to tell anyone, since it would be him on Kushina's target. With Minato, all she did was chase him with throwing kunais at him, but since Minato was way faster than Naruto, he feared that he wouldn't be able to dodge the kunai and will be certain death for him, but he figured that being his mother, she wouldn't go to such a state, or would she? Thinking nothing of it, he turned to see the living room as he heard Minato's voice announcing his arrival. Instantly, he shunshined in a little tornado and appeared in front of his father, trying to scare him or catch him off guard. Just as he arrived where he would catch his father off guard, he didn't count that Minato, being the Hokage aka strongest ninja on the village, as he sensed Fudan chakra, just gave 2 steps further from where he was and turned out, now facing a clueless Naruto trying to search for his father. "Trying to scare me, Naruto-kun," said Minato, earning a scream from Naruto, who was caught by his father by only walking some steps. "Ah, Chu-san, how did you know what I did even before I appeared?" shouted Naruto, now slightly mad about being busted from his little joke with his father, as well as interested on how the hell did his father knew where he would appear even before he appeared. Little did he know that his shunshin was different than the regular, since it used elemental chakra, therefore being easily noticeable. "I sensed you coming. That's all. Why were you trying to scare me is what I would like to know, little fellow. Would you think you could scare a Hokage, Naruto-kun?" smiled Minato, not knowing of his son's quick response as well as the fact that Naruto scared him once. "Okay, first of all, I did already scared you back when I shunshined behind you. But tell me, how were you able to know where I would be appearing?" "I mean, the shunshin's supposed to be an evasive technique," answered Naruto, earning mumbles from the Hokage which sounded like, "smartass." "Well, Naruto-kun, a normal shunshin would be an evasive technique, but what you did wasn't a regular one," said Minato, before looked at his son's face to realize that what he just said didn't make any sense to Naruto. "What do you mean normal shunshin? I thought that was only one kind. Aoba sensei taught that to me while his team was here, said Naruto, not using his intellect even the slightest, because if he did, he would conclude that every time, since he started reading the book, he tended to apply Fuden chakra as well. So, you mean to tell me that you don't know you are using Fuden chakra together with the Shunshin? Asked Minato only with the purpose to enlighten his son's question, since he saw the young kid's eyes widen in realization of what happened. Naruto, for his part, felt like an idiot now, seeing that he was subconsciously using Fuden chakra every time. Son, don't berate yourself. Already using elemental manipulation at your age is an astonishing feat, and it seemed that by your display of Shunshin, that your element in wind. But tell me, son, how did you know about even using Fuden chakra, let alone actually make Fuden ninjutsus? Asked Minato, now more perplexed at the fact that his son could already use Fuden chakra with 6 years old. Naruto, for his part, remembered his father berating him for training high-leveled ninjutsu before going to the academy, and he didn't want for his father to know about his book about Fuden jutsu, but now he had to tell and await the consequences. When you and mom were away, I went to the library and found a book about Fuden ninjutsu written by a famous Junin back in Suna. The book had a seal that checked to see if the person who's holding the book has Fuden as an element, and when I picked it up from the library, the book checked me and open. I've been reading it ever since, said Naruto with his head down, awaiting the punishment, which surprisingly enough, never came. Instead, Minato just landed his hand on top of Naruto's head and began to harass his hair while smiling. What? Were you expecting punishment for disobeying my orders, Naruto-kun? Don't be really. I laid that order in order to prevent any serious danger involving using high-leveled ninjutsu and the affect on the person's chakra supply. But since you were precocious either by understanding the concept behind Fuden ninjutsu as well as tree-walking chakra level of control mastered, but I'm sure that the book said to have at least water-walking exercise chakra control. Be proud of yourself, Naruto-kun. You are growing and soon you will be a great shinobi. I can pretty much see it, said Minato, extremely proud of his son's early accomplishments and soon to be considered a genius just like Itachi. Now wondering about the Uchiha genius, the Yondaime was worried about him. It's been some time since he was upgraded to Anbu captain, and according to the head of the Anbu division, Itachi seemed to be getting somewhat bored about doing what seemed to be almost suicidal missions. Minato strongly believed that putting a 13-year-old into Anbu was pure madness. Anbu can surely be stressful to say the least, few hours to sleep every day, constantly locked in death battles and war zones. Being an Anbu wasn't just because the guy had skills as a shinobi. Experience on the battlefield was vital for an Anbu to survive while serving as an Anbu. Itachi, some time ago, told Minato that he saw great potential in Naruto as a future shinobi, and now Minato figured that Naruto was actually the main reason why the Uchiha genius didn't go nuke Nin or something like that. Itachi, considered a genius among shinobi, had an advanced growth, so to say. Graduated at the academy with 7 years old, being Chunin by the age of 10. He was the reason why Naruto didn't go to the academy at an early age. Taking it easy sometimes helped more than push up the limit. The mind has to have time to grow. Every step in life should be taken one at a time, so as to not backfire and the ninja snap and lose his sanity in the process. Itachi eventually cursed in front of the Yondaime about shinobis being too damn proud of their Kekkei Genkais or heritage, and the fact that all of them with very few exceptions didn't even bother to train harder or even progress the bloodline. Now looking at his son, he figured the answer to a doubt he brought up to the Sandaime about what to do in order to grow the future genin's skills as well as intellect, mind training. Like Naruto, every academy student must form his little library of books to read about shinobi aspects, or at least have an weekly attendance at Konoha's public library. Sometimes, the search for information can overcome some doubts as well as harness the ninja's way of thinking so to get out of a tough situation or come up with a strategy to complete the mission. For Naruto's part, he was watching his father as he was lost in thoughts about something he couldn't put his mind on. Chu-san. What? Oh, sorry about that. Tell me, Naruto-kun, how much of Fuden chakra usage you know, and more importantly, is Fuden Shunshin the only technique you know how to do? Asked Minato, awaiting the answer only to confirm the last piece of the puzzle that was to come up with a new academy. Actually, I didn't know I made Fuden Shunshin, but I also have a second technique I learned from the book. Well, actually, I didn't quite get it. You see, the technique called Fuden Kei's no Jutsu is AD rank 1, but because my control is not up to water walking level, I couldn't do it completely. But as I read the book, it said that such technique is a weaker version of the Fuden Daitapa no Jutsu, with the difference being more chakra. So after a few 20 times I tried that first one, I grew tired of it and just used a lot of chakra, actually doing the latter. But there is one problem. To-san, and I think that Ka-san would not be as thrilled as you are right now, said Naruto, now being frightened again. What is it? Wait. You didn't mean you. You said you used the Fuden Daitapa at the garden. No, Naruto-kun. That technique could dismantle any tree from the garden. Wait a minute, said Minato as he went to the garden, only to see the entire landscape from the right corner leveled and place where Kushina's first plant gone, well, second being first the one that he stepped in. Naruto-kun, your mother is going to be so pissed at you, and the fact is I'm too scared of her too, said Minato, stopping dead on his tracks as his shinobi senses were shouting like mad people running away from a biju, and instantly he knew this feeling. It was the same time he stepped on top of the first plant Kushina grew, and now his son was in deep trouble. What could be described as hilarious from some people, for Naruto and Minato, was a scene for Shinigami himself in a bad day. When Naruto and Minato turned, their eyes meet with Kushina's red blood eyes fuming with rage at not only seeing the entire landscape leveled, but also her plant gone. Without hesitation and utterly furious, Kushina picked a kunai and started to chase the Namikaze duo in extreme rage, much to the blonde's despair. Naruto-kun, deactivate your gravity seal this instant and run for your life, screamed Minato as he along with his son was sprinting around the now leveled garden with Kushina chasing them with a kunai in hand and screaming for blood. Meanwhile at the Hyuga household, Hyuga Hazashi and Hyuga Neji were sparring when suddenly they felt a major killing intent coming from the Namikaze residence. To-san, did you feel it? It's coming from Naruto-san's house. Do you think they are in danger? Should we help them? Asked Neji before seeing that his father was trying hard not to fall down laughing like a maniac. After a little struggle, he gave up and held his stomach, laughing his off at what he spotted with his Byakugan. Neji-kun, do me a favor, try to use your Byakugan a little further and you will understand why I'm like this. Ha 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 ha, said Hazaki, almost not able to even talk because of all the laughter and the sudden loss of air while laughing. As Neji activated further the Byakugan, he came to a scene of Naruto and the Hokage running away from what seemed to be a possessed Kushina holding a kunai in a threatening manner towards the two. Upon seeing this, he could only do one thing, laugh just like his father did, because of the funny situation of seeing the Hokage running away scared from a bloodthirsty wife, a kunai on her hand. Back at the Namikaze compound. After some 30 laps around the Namikaze compound, a tired Kushina just went inside, having given up from getting angry at the blondes, since she came to realize that while they used the garden as training, a lot of damage could be done, so she figured that she would open a garden store or buy a little land just for gardening. For Naruto and Minato's part, they whispered in relief seeing that their supposed killer had given up and just went inside. Recovering his breathing now, Minato turned to Naruto and promptly asked Naruto to do the Fuden Daitapa again so he could see it. Just as Naruto was going to do the jutsu, his father stopped him, pointing to the air, showing him where to aim the technique, which he complied with laughter and scratching the back of his head, not wanting to have to escape his mother's wrath any longer. Fuden Daitapa no Jutsu, said Naruto as he exhaled now a larger gust of wind from his mouth up to the sky, earning some applauses from his father. Needless to say, Naruto's skills were growing at an excellent pace. 2 days since Naruto's Daitapa destroyed Kushina's little chance of beginning a garden creation, the blonde headed for the ninja shop in order to pick up the outfit which, according to his mother's friend, it was supposed to be ready by now. But instead of just walking towards the place, Naruto, being a tank filled with energy, channeled chakra through his feet and began jumping through rooftops like a maniac, smiling all the way there. Half the way, Naruto stopped to see the academy building to the left, and he screamed inside his mind about training even harder and perhaps even learn new jutsus on the way as well. Since he discovered how to do a C rank level technique, it wouldn't be hard to learn another one that he has yet to find on the book. This time, since the Daitapa was offensive technique, Minato proposed to him to learn a C rank defensive attack that could match the force of the Daitapa concerning defense, like a shield of wind of something like that. Minato was extremely proud of the boy for grasping first elemental techniques than non-elemental ones. Normally, the elemental ones was tougher to learn and required much dedication, but since Naruto already developed Fuden ninjutsu early, Minato concluded that the non-elemental ones wouldn't need very much of him. His father thought of teaching him other Kage shadow techniques, like Kage Shuriken no Jutsu, Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu, but he thought better of it. Naruto was growing fast, but not only the fact that Naruto was keeping his own pace, adapting while learning from his books, but also he wanted for Naruto to choose his jutsu arsenal, just like he did when he was growing up. Minato was all in favor of his son asking for help on a certain jutsu than for him to just choose one and teach it to Naruto. For Naruto's part, he wasn't the one who wanted to make his father proud. Sure, he was happier when his father commended him on his skills, but most of the things he did, all his training, all the reading was because of him and his need to fulfill a desire to become strong and be able to protect others. Naruto was one more step from beginning his ninja career and he was getting excited by the minute. At the shop. As he arrived at the shop, he arrived only to see the girl he remembered from 2 days ago with the kung fu style outfit, reading something behind the counter. Upon close inspection, Naruto managed to see what she was reading and it turned out to be a book about famous weapons across the shinobi world. Not wanting to disturb her at the moment, he figured that if he would check around the store a little bit, the girl would notice a customer and attend him. So he turned to see some shinobi weapons that were on display on the left side of the shop. The weapons were divided in swords, knives, bow staffs and kunai shurikens. As he took a wakizaki, the sound of the little sword coming out of the holster got the girl's attention and she immediately dropped the book. "Hello there, customer-san. What are you interested in?" Approached Tenten as well as mentally study the boy who seemed to be around her age, but slightly taller than her, as well as the fact that the way he was holding the sword showed her that the Gaki didn't have any sword skills at all. "Hi there. I'm sorry, I was just admiring this sword here. But why I came exactly is to pick up some clothes I bought 2 days ago." "I'm sorry, but I haven't asked about your name." "I'm sorry, my name is Namikaze Naruto. Nice to meet you," said Naruto as he put the sword back to its place on the shelf as well as give the girl a ticket needed to withdraw the clothes he purchased. "It's okay. Nice to meet you. My name is Makoto Tente. Wait right here, your clothes are ready, I'll go get it for you." "Okay. Thanks a lot," thanked Naruto as he watched Tente climb up some set of stairs in order to get Naruto's packages. After she came back with a sack, Naruto was going to pick them up, when Tente stopped him saying that there were another package, since it was a whole wardrobe worth of new clothes and one sack just wouldn't do. After she came with the last one, he wondered how the hell could he carry the two of them since both of them were very heavy to carry and he didn't like to focus chakra on his arms to lift the goddamn thing together. He figured that if he did that, he would suffer from chakra exhaustion at half the way to his house. "If you want to, I can help you carry the bags up to your house. You know, 2 people can carry it better than one," said Tente, offering help for Naruto, not at all realizing that she just gave him an excellent idea. While he didn't want to become a burden for her, he acknowledged the idea of 2 people being better than one to carry. "Thanks, Tente-san, but it's no problem. I just need 2 new pair of hands to carry them." "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," screamed Naruto, making the hand seal necessary for the clone to appear and pick one of the sacks while the real Naruto went to pick up the other one, leaving a perplexed Tente. "Thanks for the clothes, see you around." "Okay," said the 2 Narutos in unison, earning a simple "huh" from Tente as she processed the information on the fact Naruto had created a clone of himself which appeared to have a life on his own, quite different than the regular Bunshin, which was basically an illusion. "See you." After walking away from the store, the Naruto duo jumped up to the rooftops and started heading to his house to drop the stuff and find a defensive Fuden jutsu to balance the odds when fighting. With Yugo. Yugo was traveling through rooftops as well, heading for the training ground that her team met every day. She was remembering about her Suiten affinity and the scroll's teachings. While she understood the concept of water manipulation, she was having hard times applying the theory to practice. She even asked her father for some guidelines in achieving the water manipulation, but what he said pretty much confused her even more. Flashback on. Yugo was standing on top of a river near her house, trying to apply what she learned about Suiten manipulation, but she just couldn't get the water to evaporate, which was the first exercise and the first jutsu on the scroll, as well called Suiten aim no Justu, water style, rain jutsu. With this jutsu, the ninja could create a little rain cloud and form a little rain. But since she couldn't even make the water to move to her call, she as hell wouldn't be able to do the technique. While she was trying, her father was passing by and saw his daughter trying to manipulate water just like did when he was her age. A little memory passed through his head and he smiled a bit. Back then, he was as well on top of the water trying to manipulate Suiten ninjutsu. But he knew the answer as to why his daughter couldn't do it and sigh, thinking that Yugo's active personality was becoming an obstacle to her growth as a kunoichi. Yugo-chan, I see you're trying on Suiten, aren't you? Smiled Mamoto, seeing the angry face on his daughter, wondering mentally that the look of her was the whole reason why she couldn't do it. Chu-san, I can't do it, it's really tough, you're a Suiten type as well, doesn't you? Do you have some pointers for me, please? Sweaty, if you want to learn how to manipulate water, you have to become like the water, deadly below the surface while calm on the surface. Remember that if you want to be able to control Suiten ninjutsu. Anyway, your mother called, it's dinner time, come, said Mamoto, as he turned and headed for the house, leaving a thoughtful Yugo, remembering Aoba saying the same thing. Flashback off. Yugo was pounding on what her father meant when he said it, but even though she understood what she had to do, she didn't know how to do. Deadly below the surface, calm on the surface. What does that mean? As she was jumping through rooftops, her eyes caught two people looking exactly the same, carrying each one a bag or something like that. Upon close inspection, she recognized the duo as being Naruto and what could be one of his clones. Seeing that she was early, she decided to grate the little blonde and see what is he up to. Upon arrival, she noticed that he stopped and turned to look at her with an inquisitive face. Why are you following me, Yugo-san? You could just say hello, you know, said Naruto, earning mumbles from Yugo as she was cursing his sarcastic attitude. Hello Naruto-kun, what you up to? Asked Yugo, seizing up, while noticing that Naruto had a new look for him. He was wearing black Anbu paints, a fishnet shirt with a graffiti t-shirt as well as a black fingerless glove. She had to admit that new look suited very well. He already looks like a genin in those clothes, Naruto-kun. I'm heading home, I need to drop this bags there and after that, I'm doing a little reading on a specific book I'm interested in, said Naruto, not at all willing to spoil the surprise on Yugo's face when the next time they spar, Naruto use Fuden ninjutsu. And you, Yugo-san, how's going? I'm heading to meet my team. Say Naruto-kun, that new looks of yours suited you pretty good, you already look like a genin in these outfit, said Yugo, as she once again witnessed one of her favorite sights, a blushing Naruto, and couldn't feel but smile upon seeing the look on his face. Haha, you really think so? Asked Naruto, not managing to control the amount of red on his face from hearing a compliment from Yugo. Of course. Now what do you say we have a little spar so I can get warmed up for missions? I know you can't resist a challenge, now don't you Naruto-kun, what do you say? Just name the place Yugo-san. Oh, I've been meaning to ask you, how is the gravity seal coming along? Answered Naruto as he remembered that she was using one and didn't seem to have trouble moving around. I've already adapted to it. Follow me, we are going to that training ground right there. Say, Naruto-kun, could you put one more after our spar? I want to get stronger and this seal of yours really does the trick. How many do you have right now? Said Yugo, as both of them were already heading for the training ground. I have 4 on me. But the 4th one proved to be a bit of a challenge, it's hard to move without channeling chakra, but I'll manage some time during this week, it's just a matter of time. So, I see you're training a lot, aren't you? Already wanting another one. I told you this thing is addictive, didn't I? He, smiled Naruto towards Yugo, much to her amusement because of her rival's attitude. At the training ground, say, Yugo-san, waits on or off? Asked Naruto as he places his bag near a tree, while his Kage Bunshin did the same before dispelling. Off, I want to test my speed and strength against you and it wouldn't be fair on you if you had 4 gravity seals while I had only 1 on my body, now would it? Now it wouldn't. Deactivate, said Naruto, as he stumbled a bit, seeing that he wasn't used to being light like he was now and it took him a little time to get used to it. Since Yugo was in the same situation as Naruto, she got used to the feeling as well and Yugo felt her muscles relax like they were like a while back. Seeing as they both were ready, Yugo took her sword and got in position for a fight, only to see Naruto taking two kunais and setting each one on each hands in a similar position as his taijutsu style, earning a smirk from Yugo, since now she wasn't the only one who would do the cuttings and slashes. Oh, you noticed it, aren't you? It's just a theory I want to test. I read it in a book that kunai could be used together with the taijutsu style, and since blocking your sword with my arms is nonsense, I plan to use both kunais together, but there is more to it than just kunais and you just have to see for yourself, said Naruto as he got into his taijutsu stance with his kunais in hand. I'm eager for this, Naruto-kun. Let's finish the talk and fight, shall we? Said Yugo as she vanished in thin air only to appear close to Naruto's side, swinging her sword from up to down in a diagonal move only for him to dodge the move and aim a swift kick towards Yugo's legs just for her to do a backflip and get out of the way. After she landed, Naruto charged her with the kunais in front of him in a way to not let her attack him, while he charged to attack her, swiping one of the kunais up to her chest and the other keep protecting his vulnerable side, just for Yugo to block the attack and hold Naruto's force, which seemed to be stronger than the last time they fought. Using the height as an advantage, she pushed her sword, managing to take off Naruto's balance, making him jump back fearing a new slash from her sword. Using the advantage, Yugo turned to charge Naruto again with her sword, but this time with a vertical cut aiming his head, but what she saw him to just her wide-eyed. Naruto moved the two kunais in defensive position on top of his head, but the kunais were surrounded by some strange energy around them, which managed to defend the attack and held it in place. Upon contact, Yugo instantly felt that the kunais were stronger than a while ago, when they almost broke. Utilizing Yugo's lost in thoughts, Naruto saw an opening and used a frontal kick, kicking her stomach, sending her quite some distance. As Yugo got up, she took a look at Naruto's kunais and saw that she wasn't seeing things, his kunais were indeed glowing with some strange white energy. After, she witnessed Naruto doing some hand seals and prepared for the worst. Naruto was full of surprise and she was done underestimating him. She got ready to receive whatever jutsu he was throwing at him. Even though Naruto's chakra capacity was wide and the fact that he could do some high-leveled jutsus, she thought that Naruto wouldn't know how to do high-leveled ones, but she would sure regret. Fuden Daitapa no Jutsu, Wind Style. Great breakthrough jutsu, screamed Naruto, as he exhaled a huge gust of wind, sending Yugo flying towards a little river near the training ground. Yugo hit the water and because of the hit, she was disoriented, so she was drowning fast. Naruto, cursing himself because of the chakra he ended up using on the technique, ran and dived inside the river in order to rescue her. Now, even though Minato never taught him much, he did taught Naruto some basic skills, with swimming being one of them. As he caught Yugo, he swam as fast as he could, as he was running out of breath from using some of it for the Fuden technique. As he managed to get on the surface, he swam to the coast and rested Yugo on the grass, scared of her in case she swallowed some water. But his worries ended when she coughed some water and opened her eyes, seeing Naruto's worried face looking at her. As she got up, memories immediately rushed back to her and she remembered Naruto exhaling a huge gust of wind, sending her flying. I'm sorry, Yugo-san. I used too much chakra on that technique, please forgive me. You could have died. I'm really sorry, said Naruto, looking down in shame from instead of protecting others, he ended up hurting Yugo. Yugo, for her part, was astonished to see Naruto's reactions. He is apologizing. What for? I was weak and lost the battle. Why is he apologizing to me? Naruto-kun, why are you apologizing for? It was my fault, I underestimated your jutsu. It was my fault and not yours. I want to appreciate you for saving me from drowning. Here, said Yugo as she gave a kiss on his cheek in appreciation, earning a blush from the blonde, but the shame didn't end. But, I wanted to become strong to protect others and I ended up hurting you, and, said Naruto, but got interrupted by Yugo, who nodded her head. You did nothing wrong. You here. You are becoming strong, Naruto-kun. I'm sure as hell to never underestimate your growth. Now tell me, what the hell were that glowing kunai and that jutsu of yours? Asked Yugo. That was Fuden ninjutsu. I channeled Fuden chakra through the kunais, making them stronger and harder to break. As to the jutsu, it's called Fuden Daitapa no Jutsu, and what it does, it's exactly what you saw. But since my chakra control isn't good yet, so I ended up using too much chakra, said Naruto as he was looking down, not at all wanting to face Yugo after what he did to her, much to her annoyance, since he didn't do anything wrong. Naruto-kun, Please look at me. You didn't do anything wrong. Now, it seems that you can control your element, while I'm having trouble with mine, so if you want to make it to me, help me learn how to do Suidan ninjutsu. I've read the concept, but I can't seem to know how to actually do it. Do you have any suggestions? Asked Yugo as Naruto was now looking at her, since he would be happy to help her in exchange for what he did to her. Well, elemental ninjutsu pretty much assembles the same characteristics as the element itself. Take wind for example. In order to feel it, I perform a certain kind of meditation, and as I listen carefully to the wind traveling through the air and try to feel it. And you said yours is Sweden, right? Well, let's try something, then. Go to the middle of the river and just meditate on top of the water surface. Is this your answer to everything, Naruto-kun? Meditation. Scowled Yugo, slightly fuming at hearing yet again the blonde chatting about goddamn meditation. You asked for suggestions, Yugo-san. But if you don't want to listen to it, then fine with me, I have to take the bags home, mumbled Naruto as he was slightly angry at the purple-haired Kunoichi for asking for advices and then throw his advice downhill, leaving a slightly surprised and apologizing Yugo behind. Wait, Naruto-kun, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, please sorry. Now, what do I have to do while meditating on top of the water? Said Yugo in a way of trying to convince the boy to help her, which for her happiness, he complied and turned his teacher mode, remembering general elements and theories. I happened to read once that in order to learn Suidan ninjutsu, you have to become like the water. Powerful below the surface and plain calm on the surface. While you meditate on top of the water, try to hear the sound of the water current traveling, think of yourself as if you were the water itself. Explained Naruto, earning some stares from Yugo before she complied and set out for the river and sit in lotus position. Naruto for his part took this opportunity to try water walking, as he slowly walked to where Yugo was sitting in order to talk to her and guide her towards feeling the water. As he was getting close and not once did he fall, Yugo was already closing her eyes while focusing on feeling the water just like Naruto said. She could hear the noise of the water while the wind was creating some little waves as it was passing. After a while, she could feel some water current below her since she was seated on water. Now, she was in a trance as she thought that time literally stopped around her. All she could feel was the noise that the water was emanating and some water current that was passing below her. She remembered reading on the scroll that in order to manipulate the water, one have to become a part of the water itself, and she was getting the grasp of it. Now trying to manipulate the water, she did what the scroll said and focused chakra towards the water only to smile upon hearing a little typhoon being created around her. As she opened her eyes, she saw Naruto standing there clapping his hands commending her for her skills. It seemed that my suggestion worked after all, Yugo-san, don't you agree? He, smiled Naruto, once again with the smart-ass attitude, much to Yugo's sudden smile on her face and surprisingly as well. She never liked such attitude, but now she saw Naruto smiling, she couldn't help but wonder that was more to Naruto than the eyes let on. It seems so, Naruto-kun. Thanks, I appreciate. Now, I must go to the training ground. I'm 20 minutes late and my team must been waiting for me. Okay. Then Yugo-san, good luck with the Suidan and next time, I would like to see some elemental jutsus, okay? Said Naruto as he raced towards the sacks, while making a cage bunshin in order to carry the other one, leaving a smiling Yugo who was waving goodbye for her now respected rival. Okay. Naruto-kun, I will, said Yugo as she turned to the other side, traveling towards the training ground. With Team 2, Genma and Kurenai were already pounding over the fact that Yugo was late and she was never late. Even though only past 20 minutes since they arrived, they were worried about the purple-haired Kunoichi since she was the one who always got here first, even before their sensei, who by the way was already there for 40 minutes now. Just when the thought of looking for the Kenjutsu prodigy, said one had just appeared, apologizing for being late. As she explained what happened between her and Naruto, they all got looks on their faces wondering about if Yugo only considered him a rival of something else entirely. Yugo managed to catch what the silence meant and made it known to them that he was a rival and nothing more. Hey, even though he's really cute for a kid, we're only rivals, okay. On our fight, I got distracted and he launched me a Fudan ninjutsu, sending me flying and landing on the river, being unconscious for a while. He saved me and then I asked him about advice in nature manipulation. Deciding to leave it at that, Team 2 went to the Hokage to pick some missions for them. They had been training very hard because of the upcoming Chunin exams that would be held in Konoha 2 months from today. Every single one of them was ecstatic to upgrade to Chunin, and Aoba could very well see their eagerness to progress. At the Namikaze's compound. After a while, Naruto and the clone arrived at the Namikaze compound, greeting Kushina and Minato, who by the way was having lunch alone with his wife. Naruto, not wanting to ruin the couple's little date, went up to his room, rested the bags on his bed and did the one thing he has been eager to do. Learn a new jutsu. So he picked the book, which after recognizing the Fuden affinity, opened it and let Naruto read its contents. As he was reading some introductory notes about Fuden jutsu, he came across a page which stated that Fuden ninjutsu do not only serve to create winds or intensify them. Fuden ninjutsu can also create razor winds, similar to what a sword does, but only chakra. As he was reading more, the book stated that to be able to use Fuden chakra to do cuts and slashes, it was necessary to do a different training than the one required to create or to control the wind. Naruto came across an exercise in which the ninja had to cut a leaf in half just focusing on Fuden chakra. But since Naruto wanted to learn a defensive Fuden ninjutsu, he went to the page where the datapa was located, only to see below, a technique Fuden Shoheki no Jutsu, wind style, wind barrier jutsu. Fuden Shoheki no Jutsu. C rank, the ninja create a wind barrier which push away every jutsu that comes near the protective barrier, except from Kaiden attacks, that when in contact with the barrier, there is a huge explosion since wind intensify the flames. Well, since most of the people here has Kaiden affinity, it wouldn't be wise to use against them, but with other attacks, it can be useful. Says here that in order to create the wind barrier, one has to focus on Fuden ninjutsu through both hands and swing them, being one clockwise and the other the opposite direction. Not wasting any further, he went downstairs to the garden where he landed his book and put a rock on top of it, so for the wind not to blow it away. After that, he closed his eyes and started to focus on channeling Fuden chakra through both his hands at the same time. According to the book, the chakra for each hand must be equal, so he was channeling both of them constantly. While he was trying, a little audience stepped out of the balcony and decided to just watch the wind prodigy while he closes his eyes and focus. Minato was eager to see what jutsu his son would be learning now, and Kushina was watching in amazement since she didn't saw her son doing Fuden ninjutsus. The only thing she saw was the destruction that came after it. Minato-kun, just what is Naruto doing right now? Is it Fuden ninjutsu? How could he learn something so complex? Asked Kushina. She was a stranger to battle jutsus. Kushina was a medic before she had Naruto, and she had a little retirement, but only until Naruto was fit to fetch for himself and she would come back to the hospital. Kushina was second only to Tsunade of the Sannin on the field of medicine. Kushina-chan, Naruto learned on his own. According to him, he said that he bought a book which has been teaching him. You saw the results of his jutsu that time, didn't you? Said Minato, earning some scowling from Kushina, who wanted nothing more than to punish the little infant for destroying her hope of a garden. I told him to learn a defensive jutsu next time, but since I don't know much about Fuden ninjutsu, I don't know which jutsu he's trying to learn. Minato and Kushina were watching their son do his fifth try at the jutsu, but to no avail. It seemed Naruto was waving his hands in opposite rotation, but nothing would come out of it. After a while, Kushina was going to ask her son if he needed anything, but Minato stopped her, telling her that this time he was going to make it. True to his beliefs, after Naruto rotated both hands, two typhoons appeared side by side, which seemed to be blocking any frontal attacks from him. Fuden Shoheki no Jutsu. Kushina was wide-eyed from the force of the wind that came to them as she was struggling to hold her feet to the ground. Because the typhoons were close to the couple, the force of it came right back at them, having both of them channel chakra through their feet to hold on the ground. Naruto kept the typhoon spinning for a while, and to the parents' surprise, their son seemed to intensify the spinning of the typhoons, increasing the velocity and the force of the wind, taking Kushina off the ground only to be held by Minato, who by the way was covering his eyes because of the intensity of the wind blowing through his eyes. After 2 more minutes, Naruto dispersed the typhoons, sweating like a pig from using so much chakra on the technique, but he did it nonetheless. He just needed more control in order to hold more time. As he turned towards the house, His eyes locked with Minato's and Kushina's and grinned nervously upon seeing their hair all messed up and look of awe on their faces. Sorry there, folks. I didn't know you guys would be out here, said Naruto, scratching his head, waiting for the punishment which surprisingly never came. Son, it appeared to me that you have a natural affinity for Fudan ninjutsu. I fought countless Suna ninjas and none of them came close to intensifying the technique after doing it. And the speed was really something. You managed to blow your mother off the ground, aha. Quite an ability there. Son, said Minato, smiling towards his wife, who was scowling her husband for thinking less about her abilities, but nevertheless Kushina thought as well that Naruto had a natural affinity for wind. Once again, I'm sorry. But I need more chakra control exercises. I'll head for the Lake 2-san, Ka-san. If I manage to master the water walking exercise, I could go to Fudan chakra control exercises, said Naruto as he was eager to learn more as the time comes, much to his parents' dismay, since they concluded that the boy needed some time off and they mean pronto. Naruto-kun, wait for the water walking exercise, until after the first year of the academy. Practice some physical skills, get stronger, more stamina and enhance your chakra capacity. Try to not overexert yourself with elemental ninjutsu. I promise you that by the time after the first year of the academy, you'll be able to do B-rank ninjutsus. But, B-rank ninjutsu. Really? Hook, line and sinker. Actually, Minato at first overestimated his son's abilities, but right now what they needed to do was to calm their son a little bit, slow down the pace a little bit. Really? Naruto, with the pace you are right now, after some time at the academy, you sure will be able to learn more tough jutsus. Now, let's head inside and have a little snack. All this exercise of yours made me hungry, let's go. You are hungry. I was the one who wasted a lot of chakra doing the Fudan ninjutsu. I bet that I eat more than you do, said Naruto, challenging his father to an eating contest. Son, I believe that a ramen contest is in order. What do you say? Said Minato, before seeing the fire of determination in Naruto's eyes, and he wondered if his pockets would get out alive out of the contest. You're on to San. Race there. Okay. Then. Ready set go. Fudan Sunshin no Jutsu, wind style. Body flicker jutsu, screamed Naruto before a typhoon engulfed him and he disappeared afterwards. Hiraishin no Jutsu, flight of the thunder god technique, said Minato, throwing the special kunai towards the direction of the place and vanished in a yellow flash. Kushina for her part was once again dumbstruck with the display of abilities that father and son was developing. Other thought in her mind was pounding about who would win, the speed of the wind Naruto, or the speed of a flash Minato. Even though Kushina knew that her husband would arrive at the place much faster, she still was amazed that Naruto was growing up just like his father in speed. At the ramen place, Chuki and his 10-year-old daughter Ayame was currently working at the ramen stand. Today was a calm day with little movement. They have been here in Konoha since Naruto was born, 6 years ago, and even though the clients list was not big enough, they managed to survive. Every once in a while, the village's Hokage came by to have a few bowls of ramen, which managed to rise the place's reputation for a little bit. After saying goodbye to the last customer, Chuki and Ayame suddenly saw a yellow flash approaching and sitting on one of the sits. Surprisingly enough, it was the Hokage again with his infamous jutsu who turned him famous around the shinobi world. Ah, Hokage-sama, how are you this afternoon? What would you like to have? Greeted Chuki, smiling to the village leader. I am expecting company, Chuki-san. After he arrives, we'll order, said Minato, turning around when he sensed the Fudan chakra approaching, which could only be his son arriving pretty quick for a Shunshin. Chuki and Ayame for their part thought the Hokage was losing his mind. When he turned around and said that he was here, they didn't see anyone and were beginning to think that the Hokage needed some vacations, when suddenly a gust of wind approached the bench, blowing Chuki and Ayame to the floor because of it, as well as blowing a grinning Minato's hair with great force. "Chu-san, when did you arrive?" asked Naruto, after dispelling the little tornado, and came to seat at the bench near his father's. "A couple of minutes ago. Don't worry, you're pretty fast, son. A regular Shunshin would take longer to arrive, but with the aid of Fudan, you managed to arrive earlier than I expected. Now Chuki-san, we would," said Minato, but appeared to be talking to no one, since both of them were on the ground because of Naruto's gust of wind. "Sorry, Yondaime-sama. I was on the ground. This is your son, he looks just like you. What's your name, little fellow?" Namikaze Naruto. Nice to meet you, Chuki-san, said Naruto, greeting the ramen owner, much to Chuki's delight. Nice to meet you, Naruto. Say, what will the Namikaze duo have to eat? Asked Chuki, holding a little note to take the orders, but little did he know that today would be the day that he wouldn't have to worry about economic or financial issues. 10 miso ramens for me and 10 shrimp ramens for my son here, said Minato, earning a smile from his son and a 1-minute stare from Chuki and his daughter, who was pondering over her head, wondering how the hell could a child eat 10 bowls of ramen. But since this meant they would have enough money for at least 2 months, they complied and started making ramen. Coming right up. So, tell me, son, are you eager to go to the academy? Asked Minato, drinking some tea while waiting for the order to arrive. I sure am. Neji is going as well, and I really want to learn more jutsus and stuff. I want to learn more and become stronger to protect myself and to protect other in the future, mumbled Naruto, before sipping his tea. He. Hold on a minute, son. Don't be so hasty. You'll be a really strong shinobi, no need to hurry. Son, power is good, but experience is better. If you want to be strong, you have to come in terms with the fact that with experience, you'll learn to adapt your jutsus and fighting skills in battle. Try spending some time in physical skills. Taijutsu and Kenjutsu are the first way to battle, jutsu are to be used strategically. A jutsu contest is no way a fight, it just shows the enemy that you can mold chakra, you need skills, you need attack patterns. Jutsus isn't the only thing a ninja has to be strong in, lectured Minato as Naruto was paying attention from the lecture of the most experienced shinobi in Konoha. You have a lot of ninja abilities that do not concern the use of jutsus. Stealth, agility, taijutsu, deceiving, survival skills. All of these are important for a ninja to have, without them, you are nothing. Remember this, son, train your senses better. Intuition is what keeps us alive on the battlefield. I understand, too-san. I seem to stop of the 4x gravity seal when I could have rise to 5x by now. It has been a long time since I don't meditate. I've already know 3 elemental ninjutsu already. I think I'll stop now so I can have a better grasp of my other skills. Also, I intend to fight 5 cage bunchins instead of 4, said Naruto, before the 10 bulls appeared in front of them and the contest began. Right, son, that's the spirit. Now, the one who managed to eat 10 bowls faster, win the contest. Ready? Chuki-san, could you mark the time for us, please? Said Minato, beginning the challenge. Go, screamed Chuki as he watched father and son digging through the bowls like maniacs. After 20 minutes and 31 seconds, Minato was first with Naruto 10 seconds after. Chuki and Ayame were smiling at what seemed 2 fat people trying to get out of the bench after the Yondaime emptied his pockets. Naruto and Minato decided to just rest on a nearby tree, as well as wait for their metabolism to process the food. They fell asleep, much to Chuki's smile upon seeing father resting on the tree with his son resting on his father's legs. Meanwhile, a certain lazy Junin was passing by and was greeted with quite a view, Minato and Naruto passing out after some ramen. Kakashi smiled at the scene and continued walking, while mumbling something like father like son. Academy Day. Naruto woke up, feeling his blood boil of excitement. Today will be first day of the academy and he was eager to learn more. After the ramen contest, Naruto started to focus more on other skills, training in agility with a 5x gravity seal as well be able to fight 5 cage bunchins at the same time. Doing his morning preparations, which included shower, breakfast, change of clothes, he got out of the compound and started jumping rooftops straight for the academy. On the way, he spotted Yugo on top of the lake, making little whirlpools around her, and he couldn't help but smile at that. As he arrived, he came across a wide building with Ninja Academy written at the door. By now, he couldn't contain himself and was now trembling with excitement. As he entered, he turned to a list of names written on a board which happened to show the classroom list. Upon inspection, Naruto saw his name and saw Neji and Tente's name as well. They were going to be on the same class. After asking for directions, he climbed some stairs and now was standing in front of the designated classroom. As he entered, he managed to see 2 people inside in what appeared to be a couple, talking with each other, almost whispering as some blushes appeared on each other's faces. The guy seems to be a chunin because of the vest and has a vertical scar on top of his nose. The woman used a trench coat and some leg protectors that looked similar to the ones used by Anbu personnel. Naruto was studying the scene before him with much curiosity, when the girl who responded by the name of Mitarashi Anko caught a glimpse at the blonde who was watching them dirty talk to each other and instantly separated from Iruka as he as well saw the blonde, who was the Hokage's son. I'm very sorry Naruto-sama. I didn't know you were there. I apologize, said Iruka as he low his head almost touching the ground, much to Anko and Naruto's dismay and slightly pissed off. Anko for her part, was seeing the man she loved bowing without the need for, and Naruto was fuming already, since his fears proved to be correct after all. Naruto wondered how people would treat him, because of who his father was, and upon seeing the Chunin bow to him, he was angered to no end. Please, do not treat me as if I was the Hokage, because I'm not. I hate when people show favoritism to me because of my father. If you are this class's teacher, I request that you treat me just like anybody else, no more no less. Now, it seems that I arrived early, so if none of you would mind, I'll be taking a seat and wait, said Naruto, still fuming but now less than before. Anko and Iruka for their part, was looking at the boy in front of him and wondered about what he said. Anko was smiling towards the Gaki for showing a humble display, while Iruka was starting to like the kid. Naruto picked a chair on the third row to the left and picked his Fuden book to read. Since he already learned the water walking even though he didn't master, he wanted to know more about cutting the leaf with chakra. The information was still clouded for him, since this type of Fuden ninjutsu not only required Fuden control but also managing to cut objects as well. Anko, upon seeing him flipping the pages of his book, remembered Yugo talking about him and what he managed to accomplish so far. Anko was amazed to hear about the gravity seal and how much it helped Yugo's chakra reserves to expand. So tell me Gaki, you are Yugo-chan's rival? Yes, asked Anko as she was already side by side with him. Oh, you know Yugo-san, yes, we are rivals. She is very good with kenjutsu and every time we spar, she wins. There was one time I won, but that was because she underestimated me and fell into my Fuden jutsu. But if she was serious, she could kick me to the ground. I always wondered why me of all people though. She is certainly more experienced than me and there are more capable shinobis than me to fill in the role of Yugo's rival. Well, from what I heard from her, you're quite an adversary. She told me that you send her flying with your jutsu. Trust me, Yugo isn't the one who wastes time with people that are weak. She is the daughter of the legendary Anbu swordsman after all, his will passed to her. What you reading? Asked Anko as she tried to pick the book only to see it closing like his had a mind of his own. Sorry, it's a Fuden ninjutsu book, he only responds to shinobi with Fuden affinity, said Naruto, picking the book back from Anko's hand. So, you have Fuden affinity. Huh, Iruka-kun, give me one of the chakra papers you will be distributing to the academy students. I somehow sense that Fuden isn't your only affinity. Thank you Iruka, thanked Anko, after Iruka handed her the paper. What are you talking about? Me, more than one affinity. Lady, I'm 6, how the hell can I have more than one affinity? A Junin would have 2 affinities in order to pass the Junin exams. I'm only an academy student starting today, I might add. It's not possible that I have more than one affinity, explained Naruto, while remembering about shinobi ranks and what's required of each of them. We'll see about that. This is a chakra paper. This baby can see what chakra affinity you have. Channel chakra though this paper and let's see what happens. Don't worry about favoritism. The new academy system will be like this. We will be checking elemental affinities once each 6 months to see what they are and show them the respective jutsus and theories about. Anyway, the Hokage will come and explain in much further detail, so in the meantime, channel chakra thought the paper. Okay, then, but I can tell you, the paper will only split in half, since I only have Fuden affinity, said Naruto as he channeled chakra through the paper, so that Anko and now Iruka who needed to see this as well in order to write his affinities down in a report so as to plan the jutsu teaching at the 3rd year of the academy. Naruto, Anko and Iruka were paying attention to the paper when it sliced in half, true to Naruto's words. But what appeared next left a wide-eyed Naruto, a grinning Anko and a dumbstruck Iruka. The 2 halves of the paper crumbled, showing that Naruto indeed possessed 2 affinities, Fuden and Raiden. Naruto was staring at the paper in discredit. How he could have 2 affinities. The books that he read only displayed 2 affinities in at least shunins and he was an academy student for cry out loud. Anko for her part was screaming in her mind for not only getting to teach the one who managed to get Yugo's attention, but also an academy student with two extremely powerful and offensive affinities. Iruka was seeing the look of pleasure that Anko was displaying and was little bit scared of her. Because of that look, something happened and it wasn't nice. Gaki, right now, you got my attention. You can call me Anko-sensei and the scarred guy here is Iruka-sensei. We will be the teachers for this class. Now, it seemed that the infants are arriving, so we'll start the class after the Hokage comes and explains some rules and guides regarding the new academy. So for now, just wait. After a while, the other students arrived and Neji was among them. Upon arriving, he saw Naruto looking at the window and turned to sit next to him. Naruto for his part was deep in thought. He was actually cursing his stupidity for no reason apparently. He was insisting on his only affinity because of his book and the fact that it resonated to him, but he never got to think about a second affinity and the fact that he could be already practicing his Raiden affinity. He was feeling like he was wasted time, since he was eager to learn new stuff and be able to protect himself as well as others. When Neji called up to him, he took a while and turned to look at the two people sitting beside him was Neji and Tenten. Hi Neji, sorry there, I was lost in thoughts. How've you been? Asked Naruto, still thinking about his Raiden affinity and the fact that he pretty much wasted his time only focusing on Fuden affinity. I've been fine, except for this girl here who keep following me around. She's quite annoying if you ask me. You're here early. I went by your house and you was already out coming here, eager to come here, I assume. I can't wait for our next spar. I want to show you some moves I learned from my father, said Neji, earning a scowling Tenten who was by this point having a little crush at the Hyuga prodigy and right now was thinking twice about it, and Naruto who this time were smirking at the challenge set by Neji. Don't worry Neji, I got some tricks as well. We'll see whose skills are better Neji. Now Tente, I see you joined the academy as well, huh? That's nice. I was actually scared of the way people would treat me since who my father is, but seeing that you two treat me normally, I am more at ease with such subject. I wanted to join last year but my father convinced me to join this year. Something about take it slow. I don't know. Anyway, it seems that those two at the front must be our senseis then, stated Tente, getting nods from Neji and Naruto. Yep. Since I arrived earlier, I was introduced to them. The Chunin is called Yumino Iruka and the coat woman is called Mitarashi Anko. They are the senseis of this class. They said that my father would come and explain a new set of rules concerning a new academy. Wonder what could be though? Asked Naruto, who got his answer upon sensing his father approaching using the Hiraishin, much to his dismay, mumbling something about show off. Minato upon arriving greeted everyone who by the time he arrived all of the people present greeted him with respect and he came to see his son smiling at him, calling him Hokage-sama. Minato was a little surprised since his son never called him like that, but he sighed thinking he now would only call him To-san when in private. Naruto grew, not liking the treatment he was getting because of he was the son of the Hokage. After taking a look at the academy students, he turned to explain the new academy settings. So, let us begin since I must talk with the class in front of yours. All you academy students are the first of a new and improved academy. Now, the new academy will involve a 4-year period, instead of 6 years like before. The reason is simple. Back then 2 years was mainly focused on Konoha's history and some introductions like chakra notion and chakra molding, with 2 years of basic shinobi skills like taijutsu and weapon practice following 1 year with E-ranked jutsus and the last one to revise what was learned through the course. Now this time, is going to be 1 year of history and introduction, 1 year with taijutsu, physical exercises and weapon practice, followed by 1 year with chakra control and EC-ranked ninjutsus. On the 4th year will be elemental ninjutsu class. I'm sure some of you are looking at me like I grew a second hand. The theory will be explained along the course and once every 6 months your senseis here would check every one of you in order to see the chakra affinity until the last year comes. Once we found one of you already has a certain affinity, it will be reported and afterwards, we will divide the class in each of the affinities, according to your affinity. Now, on weekends, you are going to be doing some D-ranked missions which basically are low-level duties to the village. This will be in order to test some teamwork from you guys, so at the designated time, we are to gather teams of 3 in order to see who works better with who. The reason for this is when you graduate, Each team will be later formed team of genins with Junin senseis according to their specialty. Now that's all. Any questions? Asked Minato as he finished explaining, only to see one female student raising her hand wanting to ask a question. Hokage-sama, what would happen if anyone, by the end of the third year, do not have an elemental affinity? Asked a black-haired girl, pretty much what the Hokage hoped someone would ask. Well, if that happens, and trust me, sometimes it does, we'll be giving extra training for such person so that he or she can manifest one affinity. Do not worry guys, your senseis will explain better, but every shinobi has at least one type of affinity. There are exceptions who are born with two affinities, but everyone has a certain affinity, answered Minato, only to have Iruka whisper at his ear, saying that one of the student in the Class A lady made the chakra paper test and had two affinities, which left a wide-eyed Minato who looked in surprise at the Chunin, much to Naruto's dismay and slight anger from the fact that the damn Chunin pretty much told his father about his Raiden affinity. Well, that's all. Good luck to everyone, and we'll see in 4 years when you become genin and start you shinobi lives, said Minato before vanishing in a yellow flash, again receiving mumbles from his son about, damn cheater, winning the race with a S-ranked jutsu. After Minato was gone, Iruka turned to greet the class and welcome them. Iruka was to be the theory teacher and Anko would be the practice teacher. At the first year, they would divide between Konoha's history and chakra introduction, which incorporated hand signs and chakra molding. On the second year, Anko would take them outside pretty much every day, showing them how to throw kunais and shurikens, as well as train each other physically and teaching them the academy taijutsu, which stayed the same except for the ones who learned the family's style. On the third year, they would be learning jutsu theory and jutsu practice, as each one would receive a list with some jutsus which will serve as homework to be completed until the end of the year. On the fourth year, the class will be separated into 5 groups, since there were 5 affinities and each of the group would be taught by junins according to the affinity. Upon hearing this, Naruto decided to ask his teachers after class about the fact that he had 2 affinities and how would he be doing this. Since the first day was only introduction and explanations, everyone was dismissed and Naruto decided to stay a little bit to ask his teachers about his 2 affinities. Anko-sensei, Iruka-sensei, if the class will be divided into 5 groups, what about me? Asked Naruto to their senseis who were thinking deeply at the blonde's question. After a while, Iruka smiled and stated that Naruto would have to be in 2 places at once, much to Naruto and Anko's dismay since they were expecting at least a valid answer. Well, Naruto was, since Anko was pretty much a teacher as well, but she couldn't answer the question. Great. Now I have to work more on Kage Bunshins, then. Said Naruto, but was interrupted by Anko and Iruka, who was looking at him questionably, since the Kage Bunshin was supposed to be a Junin level technique. Naruto, what did you say Kage Bunshin for? Surely you couldn't be able to do it. You are only an academy student and the Kage Bunshin is a Junin level technique, asked Iruka, leaving Naruto no option but to show them the technique instead of trying to convince them that he can do the jutsu. Kage Bunshin no jutsu. With that, 2 Narutos appeared by the real one and they all spoke in unison. So, you still don't believe me yet, making them both open their jaws a little bit from seeing a 6-year-old managing such a feat. It seemed that the answer to Naruto's question would be to use Kage Bunshin and hope not to call attention upon him. After that, he left his teachers and went towards his house, but still worrying about the time he seemed to have wasted at Namikaze compound. As he arrived home, he went straight to his room to lay down a bit. He was feeling strange. Normally he would feel extremely happy for having a secondary affinity for lightning, but somehow he was sad from wasting time when he could be learning how to use Raiden before the academy. Naruto always fetched for himself, and when he couldn't he would ask someone, but that rarely happened since he wanted to get it right and asking for help was literally his last resort. Since it was already late at night, Naruto changed clothes, putting some pajamas and heading to bed, not once stopped thinking about how to feel towards his new discovery. Meanwhile, Minato arrived from work and went straight to Naruto's room to congratulate him on the news he got from Naruto's teacher. Having a son with 2 affinities at such a young age can make every father proud of his son. Minato was remembering how much his son trained up to no end, and here he got the reward for such effort. Upon arriving at the room, Minato was surprised to see a Naruto deep in wondering and was a little taken aback. For all he knew about his son, Being a shinobi was his life, and the knowledge of a second affinity would send him up the sky in joy, but this Naruto was different. Worried, he turned to see what was wrong. Naruto-kun, are you okay? You seem to be wondering about something. What is it? Oh, To-san, it's just that, as you know, I became aware of my second affinity, but now I'm in a mixture between happy and sad. Happy, of course, because of my affinity, and sad because if I knew before, I could already learn it. It seemed like I wasted my time. I don't know, said Naruto, earning surprise looks from Minato, since Naruto didn't know that Minato knew about his Raiden affinity, but was slightly angry at his son since for some reason, the boy just couldn't be still for 1 second. It seemed that learning new things daily was like an addiction to the little Namikaze, and it worried him a little bit. Naruto-kun, stop that right now. Stop thinking you are wasting time, you're only 6 for cry out loud. You are strong, I assure you, but if you continue like this you'll go crazy. Please try to make your body and mind adjust to your experience. If you try yourself too much, you'll become unstable. By slowing down a little bit, you can adjust what you learned as well as have a normal growth. Now that you have the academy, you don't need to set your own pace, follow the academy strictly, the first year is theory only, give your body some rest. Of course, practice like 2 or 3 times a week. It's great you have 2 affinities, but it would be no good if you rush into things. Mastering 2 affinities is what guarantees a shinobi to rise to Junin, so you can see why it's hard to master 2 elements. You already mastered Fuden, so for the meantime, just harness the abilities you already mastered, maybe advance each step at a month. To-san, I always fetched for myself. It would be difficult to learn it from another person. The only one who taught me was Aoba-sensei. So, think of it as picking up where Aoba stopped, then leave for Anko and Iruka to teach you and mold you into a perfect and well-rounded shinobi. They told me you have a lot of potential, son, so try to not overdo, okay? Okay. Thanks To-san. I appreciate it. Get some rest, Naruto. Meditate some time as well. It helps to clear your mind, said Minato as he turned off Naruto's light for the infant to fall asleep instantly. A little before closing his eyes, Naruto decided to have a pace of 1 day of training and 2 days off, so as to rest a bit. 1 year time skip. Naruto, now at the 2nd year of the academy, was greatly improving his skills as well as settle down a bit. After his conversation with his father, Naruto vowed to train once each 3 days outside the academy and was making progress at a steady pace. Now, Naruto's chakra control greatly improved, being able to fight a cage bunshin on top of the water for a whole hour before stopping and meditate some time. By now, Naruto nailed the cutting leaf exercise and had already learned one Fuden ninjutsu which involved piercing through objects. The one is called Fuden Keizei no Jutsu 3. With this, Naruto could create an arrow made of wind and propel it in towards the opponent just like an actual arrow. At the academy, Naruto aced the final test, which resolved around some historical facts that changed Konoha's history since its foundation. While he wasn't the sharpest mind of the bunch, he could very well be the second, only losing to a certain red-head girl who pretty much looked more like a scientist than a future kunoichi. The academy was fun. Around some time during Iruka's lectures, Anko herself had fallen asleep because of it, earning some laughs from the class who by now already saw how Iruka's lectures were boring and endless. On weekends, his team consisting on Neji and Tente was already becoming a good one with exceptional teamwork, with Neji as a close-ranged fighter, Naruto for mid-range and Tente for close and long distance, since Kenjutsu and fire, her affinity, were her abilities. Outside of the academy, Yugo and Naruto fought nearly once a week. It was because of Naruto that Yugo managed to pass the Chunin exams together with Genma and Kurenai. Because of their spar, Yugo managed to integrate her Suiten jutsus in a deadly combination with her Kenjutsu, having Naruto to resort to dodge and evade the jutsus, while defending against the Kenjutsu strikes with the duo kunai channeled with Fuden chakra. But this time, Naruto and Yugo were moving much faster and with much synchronization that they seemed to be dancing around each other. Yugo had already evolved to the 3x gravity seal while Naruto was on 6x since the beginning of the year. From time to time, Naruto and Yugo started doing more things than just train together. Sometimes they were seen picking up some books at the library, and Yugo would appear from time to time at Naruto's house for breakfast, since she became acquainted to Naruto's mother, Kushina, as well. Yugo's knowledge in jutsus now reached Naruto's level since she as well knew 3 Suiten ninjutsu. Suiten Aim no Jutsu, Suiten Sujinheki no Jutsu 4 and Suiten Mizu Taiho no Jutsu 5, being the last one, her triumph key to pass the Chunin exams against Asuna Genin at the championship finals. Also they were a little improvement on Naruto and Yugo's referring to each other. One time, Naruto unconsciously said Yugo-chan and already covered his mouth since he knew back there that Yugo was a teasing master and just loved to see the results at the blonde. Even today, she managed to get to him by teasing him and making him red in embarrassment from it. He remembered one time that his face was blood red from what Yugo said to him. Flashback on. Naruto and Yugo were sparring against each other while activating their gravity seals. They were fighting on equal terms when Naruto lost his ground and ended up falling on top of his rival in what could be described as a third base position. Yugo, being the teasing master that she was, just couldn't let this opportunity pass. Wow, Naruto-kun, I didn't know you had it in you to do something like this. Next time, warn me though, said Yugo with a mischievous voice, making Naruto literally jump away of embarrassment, since he didn't realize at the time that he was on top of her. I'm sorry Yugo-san, I king of lost my footings back there and lost balance, spoke Naruto like he did something wrong and was going to receive punishment for being in that position with her. Flashback off. Right now, he was learning target practice with kunais and shurikens, but as his kunais were literally passing through the trees instead of sticking to it, everyone who saw it was wondering what the hell was going on, except from his team who by now knew what were the blonde's abilities with Fuden ninjutsu. After that, the class would begin physical workout in a way to create some muscles as well as expand chakra capacity. They did this routine 3 times a week with the other 2 for jutsu theory. Since Naruto already know the E-ranked ones and some Ds like Shunshin no Jutsu and Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, he only needed to practice them, passing easily the test of the second year, which included hitting 7 of 10 kunai on target, 7 of 10 shurikens at a distance of 50 feet of the target, as well as a written test about theory regarding E-ranked jutsus. Time skip 1 year. At the Hokage's office, Namikaze Minato was taking a look at the success rate of the academy, and to say he was relieved it would be an understatement. He knew that the new training could be very beneficial to the students so they can be better at doing missions by improving the mind and body to such a level. So far from the 60 academy students who entered the classrooms, only 5 either quit or couldn't keep up with the rhythm. Now, upon looking at the charts of the individuals, the academy selected some favorite students. Neji was the top of the class in taijutsu with the Jiyuken, Tente was the best at weapons and Naruto was the best at ninjutsu. These 3 showed promise as a genin team. Also a good news was that all of the classmates had already discovered each one's affinities, and so there would be no need for more training in case one of them wouldn't develop an affinity. According to the chart, 3 academy students had 2 affinities, with being Naruto with being Fuden and Ruden. A bright kid by the name of Harama Fujikawa had Kaden and Doden, and an Uchiha Makoto who had Kaden and Suiten. Minato was a little worried about his son at the moment. Even though he learned how to settle down and take a steady pace, with the 4th year approaching, Naruto would no doubt focus all his attention on the Raiden, since the Fuden he pretty much was toe-to-toe with any Suna Chunin at the moment. He remembered Naruto's 8th birthday, when he got a gift from Sarutobi Asuma. Being a wind user as well as adapt the use of 2 kunais for taijutsu, Asuma bought knives similar to his own as a gift for Naruto. To say that Naruto was happy was an understatement, he was thrilled. The kunais couldn't take too much chakra before they break or rotten with use, but these knives were made of a more resistant metal. Needless to say, some trees were cut along Konoha with Fuden chakra. Also Naruto learned a deadly Fuden technique called Fuden Kase no Yaiba, wind style. Wind sword jutsu, which pretty much created a sword made of wind and caused deep wounds to the opponent. At the academy, Naruto was approaching the academy to initiate his last year at the academy, and he couldn't get happier at the moment. Along the academy, he and Neji fought pretty much every week to see who the better fighter was. Right now, it was 51 for Neji and 50 for Naruto. Since the fight counted any shinobi ability, Naruto managed to integrate some Fuden techniques together with his father's taijutsu stance, managing some damage at the Hyuga prodigy. One time, both of them were so injured that the entire classroom needed to end their sessions so Anko and Iruka could take them to the hospital. Anko and Iruka, for their part, has been in a relationship since the beginning of the third year, and both of them were happy to teach this kids to perfection. The academy students were very good and were able to learn pretty much everything both of them could teach. Now, with the fourth year coming, their jobs would end. Since the last year would be elemental ninjutsu, the Hokage divided the classroom into 5 elemental groups with a Junin for each group to teach elemental manipulation. So, Iruka decided to try the Junin exams while Anko returned to torture and interrogation department together with Ibiki. Now with Naruto, as he was approaching the academy door, he noticed that something was out of place. The building was strangely black instead of white and thunders were ripping the skies in a scary succession. Naruto looked behind to see the trees moving as if he suddenly was in a nightmare or something like that. Naruto sighed since he knew Kurenai was out there testing her new acquired genjutsu technique called Magen Narakumi no Jutsu, illusion technique, Hellview Jutsu. Closing his eyes in focus, he made a specific hand seal and Kai. Now, Naruto was surrounded by a burning academy and was slightly perturbed. He thought he dispelled the genjutsu, but this one was so real, it was like being trapped inside a ball of fire, and the feeling was similar as well. He didn't know that Kurenai did the first as a distraction for him and then test her newest genjutsu called Magen Jigoku Guka no Jutsu, illusion technique, Hellfire Jutsu. Seeing that Naruto wouldn't dispel the technique, she dispelled it, showing herself and Yugo in front of a little frightened Naruto who by this time thought he was burning to death, only to look again and see Kurenai and Yugo smiling at him, each of them wearing Chunin vests. Kurenai-san, how did you this? I thought I dispelled the genjutsu. What happened? Asked Naruto, seeing the result of a double-layered genjutsu used on him. You did dispel the first one, but I casted the second one quickly, so you didn't notice it. You need to prepare better for genjutsu, Naruto. I know that such material isn't covered by the academy from lack of time, but you need to learn how to be able to sense a genjutsu no matter how real it seems to be. Said Kurenai, smiling at Naruto's effort from dispelling the first one and the fact that disabling 2 genjutsus repeatedly was pretty tough to do. The ninja would have to know about the technique in order to know it was an illusion. Naruto for his part was like a guinea pig for Kurenai to test her genjutsu. For her it would be to practice for real missions and Naruto to get familiarized with the techniques so to be able to dispel them. That was low, Kurenai-chan. Naruto-kun, this is your last year, right? Soon, you'll be on missions outside Konoha. If your enthusiasm is as big as mine, I would say you're having trouble controlling yourself, aren't you? Asked Yugo, now having a friendship more than rivalry. I sure am, Yugo-chan. This year, my second affinity will appear. I've been waiting too long to train in Raiden and I want to start training in it and learning techniques, said Naruto, practically punching the air in excitement, much to the girls' happiness, since seeing Naruto like this always made them smile even in tough situations. Naruto somehow had a power that he could tranquilize pretty much everyone in Konoha. He somehow emitted an aura which resonated around him, making everyone at ease. What no one knows is that Naruto is currently training his Fudan affinity as he was speaking with the ladies, by resonating Fudan chakra around him in such a calm manner, resulting in a light breeze around him being able to cool everyone's problems away. Well, Naruto-kun, we are late for team meeting, so take care, okay? Said Kurenai before waving Naruto goodbye and leaving with Yugo towards the exit. Naruto, upon seeing them, felt something that he couldn't describe yet. His chest was tight and his heart seemed to tell him something. But since Naruto was only 9 years old, he wouldn't know what this feeling was. But he managed to know that involved those two. Over the years, Naruto became great friends with them, helping them in pretty much anything they asked and vice versa. Naruto shook such feelings away and rushed to the Raiden classroom where the academy students would learn Raiden ninjutsu with a Junin. Upon entrance, he came upon an empty classroom with a silver-haired man reading a orange book who were very similar to a person that Naruto met a few time ago, but somehow said person simply disappeared from his view. Kakashi Nissan, is that you? Said Naruto, making the Junin turn to him and give him a broad smile, showing that was indeed Kakashi. My Naruto, you sure grew. It's been a long time since I last saw you. How have you been doing? Here, take a seat. Asked Kakashi, showing a place for Naruto to seat, wondering why Naruto would come here. Kakashi thought he was to teach Raiden jutsus to the academy students, but for some reason, only Naruto appeared and Kakashi concluded that Naruto was the only one with a Raiden affinity on his classroom. I've been fine, Kakashi-Nisan. I've already progressed in my Fudan affinity. I've been fighting with Kage Bunshins, Neji and Yugo-chan, so to improve taijutsu, I have a friend who pretty much use me for genjutsu practice. I'm on my last year at the academy and now I'm going to learn Raiden ninjutsu, which is my secondary affinity, said Naruto, still oblivious to the fact that Kakashi was to be his teacher about Raiden. 2 affinities, huh, that's great Naruto-kun, smiled Kakashi, seeing that he would have a whole year teaching the Hokage's son. Kakashi-Nisan, where were you all this time? I never saw you anymore, asked Naruto. You see Naruto, I've always been in Konoha, but since I am an Anbu captain, my life pretty much is resolved around doing missions and using the rest of it to sleep. I didn't have time for you and I'm sorry, but now it seems that I'll make it up for you. Your father the Hokage asked me to be the one teaching Raiden affinities since apart from him, I was the only one available for it, so he gave me this year off and I'll be returning to Anbu duty next year. But, since only you showed up, means only you has Raiden affinity. Man, if I were to teach Kaden, I would prefer to kill myself. Minato sensei had to put 3 Junins there to teach everyone for the year, so I will be teaching you Raiden. Now, let's begin our class, shall we? Wow, I'm going to be learning under an Anbu captain, this is awesome, screamed Naruto, channeling Fudan chakra through his lungs, giving his voice a little boost. Now, Raiden affinity, as you know, centers around lightning and electrical attacks. Began explaining Kakashi, as he talked about the nature of Raiden and what its qualities and weaknesses. Kakashi also showed Naruto a list of jutsus they would be covering through the year, and Kakashi was to set his genin graduation test, which will be a technique called Raiden Kusari Raiko no Jutsu, lightning style. Lightning chain jutsu, which was a B rank ninjutsu, since Naruto had a lot of chakra capacity and Kakashi didn't know that the academy would be limited to only C rank ninjutsu. If anyone were to see Naruto now, he would listen to every word that Kakashi was saying with much enthusiasm on his face. From what he heard, Raiden ninjutsu centered about using the power of lightning and electricity as a way of shocking the opponent or paralyze him, making him worthless in battle and practically a sitting duck. At the end of the week, Naruto already learned how to channel lightning chakra when he completed an exercise to fill an empty battery using chakra. As he was able to do this, the battery was filling itself, showing that Naruto was channeling Raiden chakra through it. Actually, Naruto could get cell energy to the population. He ended up completing the battery 3 times and yet not panting at all, using a jutsu named Raiden Shindo name no Jutsu, lightning style, shockwave jutsu. Right now, he was seen practicing a C-ranked Raiden called Raiden Dogeki Mahi no Jutsu, lightning style, shock paralysis jutsu, against some Kage Bunshins that Kakashi made. Actually, Kakashi made this as a way to see if Naruto was making some mistakes, since the technique involved total body paralysis, and by the 5th clone, Naruto was able to fully paralyze him. Time skip 1 week to the genin test. 11 months and 3 weeks passed since Naruto was mastering his Raiden affinity, which according to Kakashi, the boy was a natural. Training to exhaustion until he was able to master techniques. Kakashi was extremely proud of how much the boy could learn in a year, considering that he was still an academy student. Now was the time to teach him the technique that he had to do in order to pass the genin exams. The Raiden Kusari Raiko no Jutsu was a B-ranked ninjutsu where the ninja managed to summon a chain of lightning around a certain area, striking at the enemy. Kakashi showed to Naruto the needed hand seals, and not surprisingly enough, Naruto got it by the 2nd try. But since it was a B-ranked ninjutsu, it was very difficult to learn, but on the first tries, Naruto managed to summon at least 1 thunder. For the technique to fully work, the ninja would have to summon 1 constantly. Naruto, being the stubborn that he was, tried and tried the whole week until he was able to master it. On the day of the graduation test, many people appeared from the Hokage, the parents of the students and friends. Naruto for his part had an audience of Minato, Kushina, Kakashi, Yugo, Kurenai and Genma, who were eager to see Naruto's Raiden jutsu that he needed to do. None of them knew which was, but when word came to them by Kakashi, Minato wanted to struggle the lazy Junin. Teaching his son a B-ranked ninjutsu to pass the genin exams where everyone needed a C-ranked one was like sending him back to the academy for 1 more year. But surprisingly enough, Yugo was the one who vowed for Naruto. Hokage-sama, with all due respect, I believe Naruto will surpass every expectations you set up for him. Just see, said Yugo, feeling proud of her friend and ultimate rival who pretty much used the damn technique against her, shocking her to the very soul. Minato for his part turned to see the purple-haired Kenjutsu specialist as she stood up for his son. He was curious as to her relationship with Naruto, as well as Kushina. Naruto's mother did like Yugo's company at home but was wondering the same thought as her husband. When both of them looked at the girl's smile when mentioning Naruto's name, both of them smiled as well. They wouldn't be against both of them getting together, but a relationship like that required effort and they didn't want to see Naruto heartbroken even if such pain is unavoidable in life. The new academy was a success. That was visible as the genin exams were being carried away with everyone being able to do their supposed elemental attack. Even though most of them were required to make the Kaiden Gukakyu no Jutsu, fire style, Great Fireball Jutsu, since most of the class had Kaiden affinity, they were some Doden users and Suiden as well. Since Naruto was the only one with Fuden and Raiden affinity, he was required to do both elemental attacks, but since he chose to only learn Raiden Jutsus on the academy, he could only do the Raiden technique and receive the position of genin. Not being one to call attention upon him more than he would with the Raiden Jutsu, Naruto accepted the offer. As his time approached, he calmed himself while doing some light meditation. The jutsu he would be performing required a quite long set of hand seals and the sequence must be fast and perfect. Waiting for the signal from Anko to start, he looked towards the audience in front of him. Well apart from his family and friends, everyone turned to see what Naruto could do with Raiden affinity, seeing that he was the only one with such affinity and got private lessons from an ex-Anbu captain. As Anko gave him the signal, Naruto closed his eyes and started with the hand seals. One by one was being formed in front of him in a rapid succession between each other, leaving only the high-level ninja who were near to be able to see it. As Naruto finished the sequence flawless, he opened his eyes and turned to scream the name of the jutsu as the necessary chakra was already molded. Raiden Kusari Raiko no Jutsu. Instantly, the sky was dark and countless lightnings descended upon the field, creating several craters out of impact. As he finished the technique, he turned to look the smiling face of Kakashi who was nodding in approval towards him and pretty much everyone except Yugo and Kakashi were with jaws on the ground, wondering what the hell just happened. Minato was looking at the seals being formed and wondered about why Kakashi taught such a complex jutsu to his son, but when the light show started, he lost that thought. Needless to say Naruto passed with flying colors.